1988 USA 5-cent coin, Jefferson Nickel, welcome back. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, the 1988 Jefferson Nickel. While it may look like a typical 5-cent coin that's been in and out of your pocket over the years, there's more to this humble nickel than you might think. Some of these coins, especially in high grades or with special features, can be worth hundreds of dollars, and that's just the beginning. Let's find out why this coin, despite being from a common year, can still be a collector's treasure. Historical background first, let's set the scene. It's 1988, and the United States is in the midst of the Reagan era. The Cold War is still ongoing, the world is watching the unfolding of the Iran-Contra affair, and technology is beginning to move in leaps and bounds with the growth of personal computers and the early internet. The country is looking forward to a new chapter in history, and the coins circulating on the streets were just as much a part of this era as any other piece of the ADS. Design. The 1988 Jefferson Nickel has a familiar design that's remained unchanged for years by this point. On the obverse, we have the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, designed by Felix Schlag. Around Jefferson's image, you'll see the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1988. Simple, but meaningful, a true classic in U.S. coinage. Flipping the coin over, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, depicted in all its neoclassical glory. Surrounding it are the words E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. This reverse design has been in use since 1938, and it's remained one of the most beloved images in U.S. coinage. Mintage of coins. Now, let's take a quick look at the mintage numbers, which are crucial when evaluating the rarity of the 1988 Jefferson Nickel. A total of 732 million nickels were minted in 1988 across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Of that, 532 million were minted in Denver, and around 200 million were produced in Philadelphia. So, while the 1988 nickel isn't rare by mintage standards, there's still a lot to consider when it comes to its value. In terms of value, a typical circulated 1988 nickel is still worth its face value, 5 cents. But when you start looking at coins in uncirculated or higher grades, the value begins to climb. An uncirculated 1988 D nickel, for example, could be worth around $100 to $3,000 depending on the quality. But once you move up to coins graded MS-65 or higher, especially those with sharp details, you're looking at prices from $50 to $1,500. In some cases, if a coin is graded MS-67 by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, it could even bring in $100 or more. Detail of coins for collectors. Now, let's talk about something that can really raise the stakes, the full steps designation. Monticello's steps are an important detail when it comes to the Jefferson Nickel, and collectors love to find coins that have all the steps clearly defined. If your 1988 nickel has full steps, meaning all 5 or 6 lines are fully visible and uninterrupted, it can drastically increase the coin's value. Full steps 1988 nickels, particularly those graded MS-65 full steps or better, can command prices ranging from $500 to $2,000 or more, depending on the grade and demand. While most 1988 Jefferson nickels are fairly common, there are also a few error coins to keep an eye out for. Error coins. Errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, and double die varieties can increase a coin's value significantly. For example, a double die obverse, where the date or lettering appears double due to a mistake in the minting process, could be worth anywhere from $100 to $5,000, depending on how prominent the doubling is. And don't forget about proof coins. These coins are specially struck for collectors, and the 1988 S-proof nickel was minted with a brilliant, mirror-like finish. In PR-70 condition, these proof coins can sell for anywhere from $100 to $3,000 or more. A deep cameo proof, which features a striking contrast between the frosty design and mirrored background, can fetch a higher price, up to $500 or more depending on condition, rarity and worth in millions. So, what's the big takeaway here? The 1988 Jefferson Nickel may not be one of those million-dollar rarities, but it's certainly worth taking a second look at. In great condition or with special features like full steps, rare mint errors, or proof status, this little 5-cent coin could be worth much more than its face value. In terms of auction prices, a 1988 nickel in MS67 full steps has sold for around $600 at auction in recent years, and the proof varieties have been known to go for $300 to $5,000 depending on grade and buyer interest. Of course, the prices can fluctuate depending on the market and demand, but this gives us a good idea of the potential value locked inside a seemingly ordinary coin. How to check condition of coins. If you're out there hunting for nickels, here's what you need to do: check the condition of any 1988 nickels you find. Is it sharp, with crisp details? Look at Monticello's steps, are they full and clear? Does it have a mint mark? These details will determine whether your coin is worth only 5 cents or something much more. Conclusion. So, can the 1988 Jefferson nickel make you a fortune? Probably not in most cases. But if you've got one in uncirculated condition, with full steps or a mint error, it could definitely be worth more than you thought. And as any collector knows, it's the thrill of the hunt, discovering that hidden gem among a sea of ordinary coins, that makes coin collecting so rewarding. Thanks for tuning in today to learn about the 1988 Jefferson nickel. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the world of coin collecting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Got a 1988 nickel that's caught your eye? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear about your finds. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and happy collecting.
1942 USA 1-cent coin that sold for millions. Rare errors, hey history buffs, and treasure seekers. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a coin that carries the weight of history and, for some incredibly rare examples, the potential for a mind-blowing fortune: the 1942 United States 1-cent coin. Now you might be thinking, a 1942 penny? Isn't that just a regular old copper cent? And for the vast majority of them, you'd be right. Billions were made. But just like in